I want to preface this video by clarifying that this isn't one of those instances of a YouTuber in front of a camera and talking about their sad lives and hoping to gain sympathy or whatever. I hope that this video shows that I'm opening up to something personal and that I acknowledge that things like these often get sidelined and ignored, especially for men who are always told to be a man or grow some balls. I hope that this video helps people out there know and hopefully understand a little bit about how it's normal to have anxiety and that it's important to talk about it to someone who can be a good listening ear to you. Talking about this through making videos helps me clear my mind a little, and I encourage viewers who are going through something similar to talk about this in the comments below, so that I, just like you, will appreciate that I'm not alone in this fight. And even for the silent ones who watch but don't comment, it'll be helpful for them too. Alright, let's begin. I'm not going to go into too many intricate details of my personal life for obvious reasons, but to just give you an idea, I started experiencing anxiety when the pandemic first started. I didn't lose anyone close to me, but maybe it was the state of the world and being cooped up indoors for months and the great unknown of what the future holds that could have been a cause for this starting. The initial few times of experiencing it, I passed it off as a one-off incident, but the frequency increased and it got a little worrisome. I started noticing I became more emotional about things. Things I may have previously repressed, I was now expressing, whether it was to someone or on a more introspective level. Blasting music was one way I coped with filling a void when I was quarantined alone for 40 days across 2 separate occasions. I've had a lot of ups and downs during these 3 years. Amazing ups, but some depressingly low lows. It feels like I went from having an emotional range of a teaspoon to a cauldron full of it. 10 points to your house if you got that reference. For a long time, because I was brushing it off and trying to be a man about it, I did not really actively look for solutions for my anxiety, let alone acknowledge what was causing it. And in hindsight, that may have been the reason why it continued to get worse and more frequent over time. Yes, I was being vocal about it and not suppressing the emotions anymore, but that was not enough. There was a period of time where I put myself through a particular situation repeatedly, something I am not very comfortable with. I kept telling myself I'm stronger than this and that I'm here because I'm choosing to spend my time like this. While I have absolutely no regrets of my choices, I realize now that forcibly putting myself in those situations repeatedly worsened my internal conflict. Anxiety is, after all, a way your body is giving you a sign that something is not right. And it unfortunately, effectively, affected the people around me as well. And trust me, I've gained some beautiful friendships in these 3 years, but I've lost a lot more as well. People are right, the 20s are a difficult part of life. By taking a step back and actively choosing to say no to this particular activity really helped me in making a stand for myself and was the first step in dealing with my anxiety, the acknowledgement of it. It wasn't until earlier this year that I truly realized the importance of introspection when it comes to anxiety, about really understanding the cause of it. That's the reason why I've been making these videos over the past 2 months. This self-development, self-help journey is all a product of me finally telling myself I need to own up to my faults and flaws. And by focusing on myself, I will be able to then be a better person. Not for anyone else, but myself first. I don't know if I've been raised like that or I just am like that, but I've always put the need of others before mine. While there's nothing wrong in being selfless, I realized I was neglecting the one thing I know will never leave me. Me. And that's the most important person I need to take care of right now. I was in conversation with an old friend recently to whom I hadn't spoken to in close to a decade. I reached out because they were going through something similar and had a little more experience than me in this whole self-improvement journey. One of the things from that conversation that really stood out to me is to make sure you don't overwhelm yourself with all the positive changes you are bringing in your life. If you have anxiety, there is already something that is overwhelming you. So don't try these positive changes all at once. Go slow, try a couple at a time, and see what works best for you. And don't put pressure on yourself. Remember that some methods will not work and it will feel like you are not progressing. And the effectivity of these vary from person to person. So here are some things that I have tried before, am currently trying, and will be trying in the near future. Meditation. Yep, I'm going to be making a full video on this soon, but however little of it I have done so far, it has helped. Taking just 15 minutes or 1% of my time in a day to do absolutely nothing. To just sit or lie down, close my eyes, and breathe. Let the thoughts come and go, but just focus on breathing. The act of meditation is to simply hit pause and refresh for our minds. We often get caught up with the day's endless activities, and taking a tiny amount of time to literally do nothing can help you stay centered. If it helps, do guided meditation, because I know just simply lying down and trying not to think of anything can be challenging and sometimes make things worse. So let a calming voice, music, or white noise help you in this process. A guided meditation I have tried and loved is Deepak Chopra's 21-Day Abundance Challenge, which you can find on YouTube. Next up is journaling. Now, I've had mixed thoughts on this. I wrote for a bit but did not find it too helpful. The idea is to basically let all your thoughts out and to pen them down. I have seen and heard that journaling can be more effective if you use a real pen and paper because it will feel more organic and natural rather than doing it on an iPad or typing it on your devices. What I tried was, at the end of the day, penning down what I felt that day, the good and the bad. But I tried it for a month and it was not very effective. Something different I'll be trying going forward is gratitude journaling, where it basically forces me to focus on the good that happened and the good I want in my life. Kind of like a believe what you want and you'll have it philosophy. Writing it down makes it a lot more convincing than just thinking about it. A quick fix for anxiety I've heard is dunking your head in a bowl of ice water. Of course, we won't always have access to this, especially if we are out and about, so a more long-term accessible solution to it is, along the lines of cold therapy, having cold showers. It is essentially a process through which your body is forced to go through this unpleasant feeling for a brief period. It almost acts like a mild version of electroshock therapy where the cold jolts our endorphins and boosts energy levels. I've had a trial and phase error of it before, but I've not been disciplined in the past to really do it regularly enough to notice results. It is something I want to try doing more of. Cold showers also have several physical health benefits too, so that's just a cherry on top. A good way to ground yourself in a moment of anxiousness is to be aware of your surroundings. Name things around you that you can identify using your senses. For example, if I had anxiety right now, I would say, okay, I see my camera in front of me. There's a chair on which I'm sitting. I can smell my neighbor's lunch from the window. I can hear cars drive by on the road nearby. And if you're drinking or eating something, describing how it tastes. Doing this helps you be present in the moment and focus on simple basic sensations around you instead of giving the attention to your anxiety. Keep saying multiple things for each senses until you feel better, and if possible, say them out loud so that you are really projecting out of your body. I've had a love-hate relationship with this next one, exercising. I always swing from weeks where I have utmost motivation and then have a slump where I don't exercise for months on end. This is something I want to improve about myself, where I build a more steady routine. Having an active lifestyle can really help you be better mentally, apart from the obvious physical benefits. Exercising releases endorphins and serotonin naturally, which in turn can make you less anxious. I hate running, and while I won't quit it, I am looking at other ways to incorporate exercise in my schedule that keeps me motivated and I can have fun. Hiking is something I enjoyed on my recent trip to the US. Swimming, playing a sport, going to the gym are all different ways I can keep the routine of exercising fresh and exciting so that I'm encouraged to go. Yoga is another form of exercise that I've been meaning to try but haven't gotten around doing just yet. Now, I have zero experience with therapy, but I do have friends who have tried it. What I've understood from them is that everyone should rightfully get therapy just to keep things in check, even if you're mentally healthy. But another general consensus I've heard is that it usually takes some time to find the right therapist. For someone who's already feeling overwhelmed, cycling through a few people to get to the one from whom you can reap most benefits from can be a time-consuming and mentally draining process. That's one reason I have not tried therapy just yet. The other is that compared to the previous 5 solutions that I've offered, this one comes at a price. It is not cheap to get therapy, and unfortunately, many will not be able to afford it, which is why I have been incorporating these other free methods in which I can improve myself with zero to minimal spending. But having a therapist can definitely help because there's someone keeping an eye on your progress, which the other methods could lack in because for a lot of those you have to be personally disciplined. And of course, you have someone you can trust and share details about your life without being judged, and they can help trigger the right responses from you by helping us self-reflect, which can be difficult to do without an outsider or an expert's perspective. The last solution I want to offer today is a fail-safe option. I would only advise this solution if you're finding it difficult to incorporate some of the other methods I've mentioned so far. Finding distractions. How you distract yourself is really important because there is a thin line between distractions that help you and distractions that only prolong your suffering. Things that can really benefit you can be reading more books or listening to self-care podcasts or cooking, painting. Then there's the grey areas like binge watching shows or drowning yourself in work or doom scrolling on social media, which isn't too bad but may be a sign of avoidance. And then there's the dangerous side of distractions, where you search for dopamine hits in the form of abusing alcohol or worse. Hey YouTube, this is just salt I'm using for demonstration purposes. Please do not demonetize me. Cool? While these negative distractions do provide some temporary comfort, they are not problem fixes. Hence, I would strongly encourage that if you have to distract yourself because of anxiety, then at least try to do more of the things that will be more beneficial for you rather than harmful. All of this said and done, I want you to know that we're all human. I may preach about all of these things as if I'm following all of it myself word for word, but I'm struggling with it just as much as the next person. There are days I regress back to my old habits, and there are days where I let my intrusive thoughts get the better of me. What's important is to come back, to ground yourself and remember why you are on this self-improvement phase of your life. And for many of us, this phase will go on till the end of our lives. It's not going to be easy. It never was. So I can only wish and pray for you that you find peace and happiness in this world with little to no anxiety. Count yourself lucky if you do not suffer from anxiety or panic attacks. If you do, know that you are not alone and that it can be overcome. And stick to the people who bring you comfort and can listen to you. Good listening friends can act like free therapists. If there's anything I may have gotten wrong or there are more solutions you would like to offer, please do not hesitate to comment below. I'm going to sign off now, and because the day that this video releases is Star Wars Day, may the 4th be with you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.